Hello, love bugs. Let's talk map grid. With the last update of Palia, we finally have a grid on the map, but let's talk about how to use it since I've seen a lot of people confused by it or who just don't know about it and don't know how to use it. It's very, very, very simple. With a grid map like this, the top is going to have letters. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and then an H and an I and J we really aren't going to use because we're not going to be out over here in this section. These indicate that it's in this column. So A would be this entire column. B is this entire column. C is this entire column. And D, and so on and so forth. Now let's talk about the numbers scrolling along the side of the map. Just like the letters before, each of them indicate a line or a section, but this time going across. So 1 is going to be all the way across here. 2 is going to be a little bit more south. 3 a little bit more south. And you get the picture all the way with 10 being the most south. So if you would like to give out your coordinates, like for example, right now, I am standing by the entrance to Kilima Village. The entrance to Kilima Village is at B8. So B8 is where I'm standing. If Hadari, I was trying to let people know where Hadari was for some reason. They couldn't see him on their map. Let's say there was a bug. I could say Hadari is currently at C7. Let's say I wanted to tell people where the Bahari pile is for the day. And let's say it was at the most north part of the beach by Statue Garden. Instead of typing that all out, I could just say pile at H3. Now, that being said, let's talk about a couple of tricks that you can do with the map. For example, let's say if you are spending the day hunting Elkton John, Swag Stag, Disco Deer, Glamby, whatever you call him, meaning you are only going to be spending time in the north part of Bahari. You really don't want to run to the south of Bahari, even maybe for Pallium or for Flow. You just want to stay in the north. That means that anything below, any number higher than 5, you aren't going to pay attention to because 5 is pretty much where everything is cut across. With 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 being the north side of the map, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 being the south side of the map. Also, if you don't want to be going and having to run down to the beach for any reason, you might not want to go running for anything at anything lower than H. Now that you have a little basic understanding of how to basically use the map, let's talk just really briefly about a slightly more advanced thought about it. So now that we understand the map, we know that A is the westernmost point of the map, with J, or let's say what people are actually going to be calling at most H or G, is going to be the westernmost part of the map. That means depending on where you're running through the map, you'll kind of be able to guess what direction you need to turn and run without having to pull up your map every single time. So for example, if you're running down by Statue Garden, you're going to know that you're probably in F or H. So if someone calls out that Glamby is, let's say, in Bravo 3, you're going to know that you need to head west in order to find him, even if you aren't opening up your map. Since in our minds, we know that 5 is going to take us almost all the way to the wall, with 1 taking us all the way up to the ridge of Thorny Thicket, where people really aren't ever going to be using. I think that as we play the game more, we're going to start to learn where different spots are, though even though I may never memorize that E5 is directly on Ancient Aqueduct, if I'm standing over here and someone says E5, I'm going to know that 5 is going to be to my south because I know that I am more northern than the wall and that I need to start heading south in order to get to where the item is being called out. So again, really quickly, just to refresh, if you see somebody in chat, go Disco Deer at D4. You could open up your map, go to D, look at the 4 and find where those two things come together, which would be right down here at Flooded Steps. I hope that helped out anybody that was confused, and happy hunting. Love you. Bye.